Hello and welcome to this hip flow. Today it's a short sequence, about 25 minutes, focusing on our hips, from creating power in the back of our hips to creating space in the front and the inside, the outside of our hips. So we start the practice lying on your back. So once you're ready, come and lie down and we begin from there. Bring your knees into the chest. Give them a little squeeze and the rock side to side. And then pause at the center and take both hands to rest on the knees and start to circle the knees clockwise. Massaging into the lower back, into the back of the pelvis. You're keeping the knees together and rolling them around clockwise for another 2. For 1, and then switch direction. Feeling that gentle massage in the lower back and using the sensations to guide you. We take the last 2 for 1 and then reset back to center. Have the hands on the knees, the feet coming apart, and then circle the knees out to the sides, forwards and away from the chest. And then draw them back into the chest. Inhale out to the side, forwards and away. Exhale back into the chest. And we take 3 more like this, beginning to warm up our hips, our abdominal muscles. For the last 2. For 1. And then back into the chest, reverse it, push the knees forwards and away, separate them, roll them out to the sides and back into the chest, and continue. For the last 3, for 2, and for 1. Next time your knees are into the chest, keep them there, slide the hands behind the knees, rock yourself up and down a couple of times, eventually coming up into a seated position, and from seated, shift yourself on your hands and on your knees. Finding tabletop, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We breathe in and arch the spine, lift the chest, lift the tail, lift the gaze. Breathe out and round the spine. We take 1 more cat-cow, inhaling, arching. Exhaling, rounding. And then reset into a neutral spine and straighten your right leg back behind you. Have the front of your foot on the floor so the toes are pointing back behind you. And then from there, push with the hands, lift the chest, lift the belly button into the spine, and lift your right leg a little bit off the floor. Now bring your left hand to the lower belly and draw the lower belly in. Feel your abdominal muscles drawing in and up to support your back. So we want to keep our spine pretty neutral here and avoid dipping into our lower back. We're going to lower the right foot to tap down. And as we lift the right leg, right foot, we're keeping the lower back in a neutral position. Again, we lower and we lift. The hand can stay on the abdomen. Just make sure that it's reminding you to keep it engaged and not collapsing your lower back. Or if you prefer, you can reach the left arm forwards, as long as you remember to engage your abdomen and to keep your spine neutral. As we take another few movements like this, we're going to feel the squeeze as we lift at the top and then lower. So make sure you're not going too fast, but you're taking the time to feel the squeeze of the glutes as the leg lifts. We take the last 3. 2, and 1. Release the hand, release the knee. Breathe in, arch the spine, open up the chest, look up. Breathe out and round the spine, chin to chest, tailbone tucks. Reset back into neutral. Now straighten your right leg again, so same side, but turn onto the sole of your right foot. Spin the left foot behind you, lift the right arm up to the sky. And then press the floor away with your left hand. Lift the left side waist, lift the right fingers to the sky. And then also lift your right leg to parallel, so it's parallel to the floor. And lift enough so that you start to feel your glutes activating again on that right side. Drawing the lower belly gently in, we still keep that spine pretty neutral, and we'll move up and down, dropping the foot to touch the floor and then lifting it until we feel the squeeze in the glutes. We lower and lift. And again for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, for 2, and 1. Keep the leg lifted. Bring your right knee into the chest. With the right hand, catch the front of your right foot. Take the foot behind you and press it away from you to find that opening into the front of the hip. Gentle stretch in the hip flexors. And also a good opening through the front of the chest and the right shoulder. We take one more inhale here. And then as we exhale, keep the leg in position, but release the foot and straighten the right arm back up to the ceiling. And then gently from there, re-straighten the right leg and release everything to the floor, hand down and knee down. Breathe in, arch the spine, open up the chest, look up. Breathe out into a brief downward facing dog. Take a breath in for your down dog. A complete breath out. Gently release the knees to the floor, straighten your left leg back behind you. Drop the front of the foot on the floor, the toes point back. Press the floor away with the hands, lift the abdomen, lift the chest. And then bring your right hand to the lower belly, lift the left foot. Squeeze the left glutes. Lower and lift. And keep going in your own time, but remind yourself it's not about how many repetitions you do. It's more about the quality of the movements. So it's a controlled movement, and we lift to feel the squeeze in the glutes, still containing the front of our abdomen, still keeping our lower back in a neutral position. We repeat again for the last 3, 2, and 1. Release the left foot down, the right hand down. Lower your left knee to the floor. Inhale, arch the spine, open up the chest, look up. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, tailbone tucks. Reset back into a neutral position, straighten your left leg back behind you. Turn onto the sole of your left foot. Right foot spins behind you, left arm up. Press the floor away with the bottom hand and reach to the ceiling with the top hand. Left leg lifts to parallel. Breathing there, we lower the foot. Lift the leg, squeeze the glutes, and lower. Lifting for 8, lowering for 8. Lifting for 7, lowering for 7. Lifting for 6, and down for 6. 5, and down for 5. 4, down for 4. For 3. Down for 3, 2, down for 2, 1, hold it there, bend your left knee into the chest, catch the foot with the hand, take the foot behind you, press it away, open the front of the body, from the front of the shoulder to the front of the hip and thigh. 1 more breath. Keep the left leg in position, release your left arm up to the sky. And then from there, straighten the left leg too. Release the hand, release the knee, come back into your tabletop. Inhale, arch the spine, open up the chest, look up. Exhale, lifting to downward facing dog. Once you're back into down dog, take a long inhale and a complete exhale. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up, 3-leg downward facing dog. Gaze between the hands, step your right foot forwards, drop the left knee down. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the lower belly, stretch up. Exhale, release the hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg up, 3-leg down dog. Exhale, the left foot forwards, the right knee down. Breathe in, the arms lift, lower abdomen lifts. Breathe out, the hands to the floor, step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, your right leg back up, 3-leg down dog. Exhale, right foot forwards, left knee down. This time, lift the chest and take the hands to the front of your hips. Think of lifting the front of your pelvis up. Engage your left side glutes. Reach the arms up to the ceiling. With your right hand, hold onto the left wrist. Inhale, stretch up to the ceiling with your hands. Exhale, side bend to your right. And press down with your right big toe into the floor, finding a sense of staying grounded through the lower body as you work on opening the side of the body. Take one final inhale. Exhale, back to center, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up, 3-leg down dog. Gaze between the hands, step the left foot forwards, right knee to the floor. Breathe in, lift the upper body, lift the front of your pelvis. Engage your right side glutes. Arms up, inhale. Hold onto your right hand. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out and side bend to the left. For the next inhalation, come back to center. Hands down, downward dog on the exhalation. On your next breath in, shift forwards into plank. Breathe out, lower the knees, bend the elbows, come to the floor. Inhale, lift into a cobra pose. Shoulders down, active legs and glutes. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift the right leg back up to the sky. Gaze forward, step the right foot between the hands. Turn and ground your back heel so you're into warrior one legs. Push down through the feet. Inhale, upper body lifts. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind you. Squeeze the shoulder blades, open up the chest. Now press the outside edge of your back foot firmly into the floor. Feeling the left inner arch lifting away from the ground. We take one more breath here. One more exhale. On your next inhale, lift the arms up. Straighten the right knee. Parallel the feet, turning to the side of your mat, the long side of your mat. Bring the arms down, hands onto your hips. Now, align the toes if they're not in line already. Press down the outside edges of the feet. Feel your inner arches lifting already. And then squeeze the shoulder blades, open up the chest, look up. Exhale, come down to a flat back. As you arrive here, draw the lower belly in, lengthen the spine. You want the shoulders about at the same height as the pelvis. You could stay here or now fly the arms out on the level of the shoulders. If you fly the arms out with the corners of your eyes without turning your head, you should be able to see your thumbs. And then if you see them, you know that your arms are in the right place. Take another inhale. Exhale and fold. Relax the head, relax the neck. Coming up on fingertips. Inhale, lift halfway up, lengthen the spine. Turn your heels in, your toes out. Bend the knees into a goddess position. So check that your knees are pretty much on top of your ankles. And then bring the hands to your thighs. Lift the upper body, goddess position. We're going to lift the arms, palms face forwards, bend the elbows, holding it here. Breathing nice and long for a goddess pose. Exhale, maybe sinking a little more through your hips, still pressing down through the feet. Inhaling fully. Exhaling, feel the power in your legs. One more inhale. As you exhale, straighten the legs, release the arms. Left foot parallel to the back edge of the mat. Right toes point forwards. Bend your right knee, warrior two. Hold your warrior two, bend deep into your right knee. Rest the gaze over to your right middle finger. Inhaling fully. Exhaling completely. Now windmill the arms down. Step back into a plank position. Take an inhale at the top of your plank. Exhale, lower the knees, lower all the way to the floor. Reach your arms back, palms touch the floor, head down. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift the head and the chest. Lift the hands, squeeze the back of the shoulders, lift the front of the feet and the front of the thighs. Now draw the abdomen a little bit in towards the spine and feel that strength in your back body. One more inhale. Exhale, release down. Hands under shoulders, inhale, cobra. Exhale, sit onto your heels for child's pose. One long inhale for child's pose. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Breathe in the left leg up. Breathe out the left foot forwards. Warrior one, turning round your right heel. Inhale, lift the upper body, lift the arms. Exhale, release the hands, interlace behind you. Squeeze the shoulder blades, open up the chest, look straight ahead. Breathing here, ground both feet actively into the floor and gently hug the front ribs in towards the back body. Breathing here for 2. Inhaling for 1. On your next inhale, reach the arms up to the ceiling. Straighten the left knee. Parallel the feet, turning to the long side of the mat, and then adjust the feet if you need to so that the big toes are in line with each other. Bring the hands to your hips. Inhale, squeeze the elbows, open up the chest, look up. Exhale, come down to a flat back. Feel the length in the sides of the waist, the strength in your back, and then fly the arms or keep the hands where they are. Take another nice and long inhale here. Exhale, stay. And then gently release. Folding forwards, relax the head. Now come up on fingertips, lengthen the spine, lift the head and the chest. Turn the toes out, the heels in for goddess. Bend the knees, but this time stay low and bring your forearms into the inner thighs, inner knees, and press the legs out with your forearms. But with your legs, squeeze in towards your arms. So you're creating a little bit of resistance between the two. The arms pressing out, the legs squeezing in. Think of your back being nice and long. Your sit bones reaching towards the back. The top of the head reaching towards the front. We take one more inhale here. One more exhale. And then press through the feet. Lift yourself up to standing. Right foot parallel to the edge of the mat. Left toes point forwards, warrior 2. Breathing steadily. Inhaling fully. Exhaling completely. Windmill the arms down. Step it back into a plank position. Take an inhale at the top. Exhale, lower the knees, bend the elbows, come to the floor. Reach your arms back, palms touch the ground, head down. Inhale. Lift your head and chest. Lift the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift your feet and thighs. With your fingers, reach back, with your toes, reach back. Inhale here, locust pose. Exhale, release to the floor, hands under shoulders. Breathe in for cobra. Breathe out, sit on the heels, child's pose. Long inhale here. Complete exhale. Press up into a downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift the right leg up for a 3-leg down dog. Roll the hips open, bend the top knee, so it's a down dog with a little twist. We turn the chest over to the right. We look underneath the right armpit. One inhale. And from here, step your right foot outside of your right hand. Lizard pose. In lizard, we take a couple of rocks forwards and back. Good, and then release the left knee to the ground. Reach the right arm up into a twist. And either reach back with your right arm and stop there, or also bend your left knee and catch the foot with a hand. If catching the foot is not an option, remember you can stay with the foot down, arm reaching back. And you will know that catching the foot is not an option if there is any pain as you try to do that. So don't push through that pain if there is any. If you do have the foot now, let go of it, but maintain the shape. And then gently release the foot, both hands to the ground. Nice. From here, we're going to spin to face the long side of the mat. So lift the back knee, turn around, face the long side of the mat, align the feet if you need to. And then we turn both sets of toes out about 45 degrees. Bend your right knee, both hands over to your right foot. And then stay low through your hips, transition to the other side. So we're into a side lunge. Again, stay low through the hips, transition over to your right foot, both hands close to your right foot, right arm presses the right knee out to the side, and then we go again over to the left side. Next time you're on to your right foot and your right knee is bent, we're going to spin around, face the front of the mat, and step it back into a plank position. Inhale for your plank. Exhale, lower the knees, bend the elbows. Inhale this time into a cobra. And exhale for downward facing dog. Take an inhale, down dog. A complete exhale. Inhale the left leg up. Roll the hips open, bend the top knee. Let your chest turn to the left, your gaze go to the left. And then lightly step the left foot outside of the left hand for lizard. Take a few movements rocking forwards and back. Good, and then spin around, face the long side of the mat. Align the feet, turn the toes to point out. Bend your left knee and either stay into a lunge like we did earlier, staying a little bit higher here through the pelvis, or let the pelvis come down for a skandasana. So whichever version works best for you. We transition, we go side to side a few times. One more time over to the right. And the next time you're onto the left side and you're bending the left knee, spin around, face the front of the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. Take an inhale for your downward dog. Exhale, drop the knees to the ground, child's pose. Take a full breath in. A long breath out. On your next inhale, lift head and chest up. Shift the legs forwards. Shuffle to the front of the mat. Reach the arms forwards as you ground down through the feet and then slowly roll onto your back. Once you are onto your back, bring your knees into the chest, give them a little squeeze, rock side to side. And then we release the feet to the floor and cross the right leg on top of the left. And imagine you're sitting on a chair and you're just crossing your legs loosely. Going to shift the pelvis a little bit to the right, drop both knees to the left and find a twist with the legs crossed. And turn the head over to the right shoulder. Maybe we can feel a little bit of an opening going on into the outside of the right hip, as well as the release through the spine as we twist. Lovely, bring it all the way back to center. Uncross the legs, recross them so the left is on top. Shift the pelvis a little bit to the left side and drop both knees over to the right side. So find your way back to center now. Uncross the legs. Give yourself a moment to rest in stillness, ending this short practice with about a minute of stillness to allow the body to take the work that you've done, to take it in. Now gently begin to awaken the body, moving fingers and toes, taking a deeper breath in, a longer breath out. Hug the knees into the chest, gently rock side to side, and then roll over onto one side to lift yourself up. Coming up into a seated position. We close the practice with the hands together in prayer, the thumbs at the center of the chest. Together we take a long inhale. On the exhale, we open the eyes. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this practice with me today. Well done. If you would like a longer hip flow, I'm going to link a video here that you could do next time maybe. I hope you really enjoyed this video today, and if you did, please leave a thumbs up, maybe even a comment, share with friends, and make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Hope to see you again.